Now, Broderick Jones, he had his moments the other night, but he also got beat for a sack, and he looks a little slow off the ball. Dan Moore's taking advantage of that situation, which I didn't think we'd be saying here heading into the third preseason game, because I think it's Dan Moore's job as they start the regular season, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm not thrilled with it because Dan Moore, I think the last couple of years, that's why the Steelers felt the need to trade up for Jones, because he left a lot to be desired. His pass blocking success rate, which gets measured now, how do you do against the opposing guy? How often do you give up a pressure? He was one of the worst tackles in the NFL last year. But as far as Jones goes, I wanted him with all these snaps to look dominant. He's not always going up against first-team guys, and it really hasn't happened. In fact, I thought he took a step back in the game against Buffalo. He gave up a sack to a fourth-string guy who probably won't make the Bills roster. They ran behind him a few times at the goal line when they got down there, Bob, at the end of the first half, and they couldn't punch it in trying to run behind Jones. He hasn't gotten called for a penalty, which I guess is good because, Dan Moore gets a lot of those holds and false starts. But, yeah, they've had so many impressive rookies. Porter's interception, everything Herbig's done, Darnell Washington drawing those penalties. I feel like Jones has underachieved. At the very least, Bob, he hasn't done enough to make the Steelers make the move. I think all he needed to do was be as good as Dan Moore, and in Saturday night's game, he wasn't.
That's all right. He still has time, and it's good to know that there's someone ahead of him who's playing well. And again, I think the presence of Sayamalu has really helped Dan Moore. And we haven't seen Keanu Benton, too, a high pick for them. And hopefully he'll get some action here Thursday. Yep. And if he can be what they think he can be, then all of a sudden that defense looks even better. We got to take a break here, Andrew. When we come back, we'll talk about a big night for the Pirates. And Paul Skeens is going to Altoona. He's going to make his debut there on Saturday. I'm curious whether or not we should see him in Pittsburgh before this year is out. I'll ask Andrew. I'll ask you guys about that. It's 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Give us a ring right now on Pittsburgh CW. We'll be right back.